a new ballroom, all while taking food away from families in need. And now Senate Republicans want to reward themselves with a taxpayer-funded handout. Shameful, shameful, shameful. House Republicans should be here doing their jobs, not making life harder for working families. I urge a no vote.
Members are advised to direct
Welcome
their
back,
comments
everybody.
to the chair,
Welcome back.
not to
Welcome
engage
back.
in personalities toward the president.
They're not voting quite yet. There's still some debate going on.
The gentleman from Oklahoma is recognized.
Thank you,
Everybody
Mr.
check
Speaker.
in. I'm having my
Mr.
dinner
Speaker,
quick
1
on the
minute.
side,
My very
too.
good friend, distinguished
But we're back.
gentleman from Texas and chairman of the House Budget Committee, Mr. Arrington.
The gentleman is recognized.
A little early before the vote, but I figure you could hear some debate before the actual vote starts.
The havoc, the pain and suffering for
To
our
reopen the
Americans
government.
is so obviously disingenuous.
Hello, everybody.
They never vote against clean CRs. Never. For 4 years under Biden, you
Hello,
all
hello,
didn't
hello.
reject-
What
you
up,
all didn't
Anglo-American?
Reject one
Everybody
clean CR.
check in.
Chuck
Everybody
Schumer,
check
in
in.
44 years, never rejected a clean CR.
You just got home.
So,
Perfect.
Mr. Speaker,
Yeah,
what's
relax
it
and
about?
watch
They
the
say
government.
policy. They put forward a proposal.
Listen to these
Mr.
idiots,
Chairman.
huh?
They said it's about
All right,
health.
I got to go finish eating quick my dinner. Just a couple minutes, and then we'll continue.
Adults, that's a 80-20 issue in this country.
Or I'll be back. Well, this is going to continue, but I'm going to go eat quick.
The discretionary budget.
And then come and react
Mr.
to the
Chairman,
vote.
They'd be
Good.
spending more money.
He's
than
really
we've ever
wearing a
spent
button that
outside
says
of
"End the
That's
Schumer
their
shutdown."
counterproposal.
Crazy.
It's not only disingenuous, it's
Welcome, everyone.
unserious. So what's it about? It's about politics. It's about resisting and fighting and undermining Donald Trump. But here's the deal. They're not fighting and resisting Donald Trump. They're undermining the will of the American people that gave Trump the presidency.
Yield the gentleman an additional 15 seconds.
The gentleman is recognized.
They undermine the will of the people who overwhelmingly elected President Trump and gave him the mandate of the America First agenda. So you're not resisting us. You're posturing and placating the radical left. And you are holding back what the American people wanted, and that was a new direction for this country. I yield back.
Members are reminded to please direct their comments only to the chair. The gentleman from Oklahoma reserves. The gentlewoman from Connecticut is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I yield 1 minute to the gentleman from New Jersey, the distinguished ranking member of the Energy and Commerce Committee, Mr. Pallone.
The gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want my colleagues to understand that when the Affordable Care Act was adopted, it was adopted for middle-class people who could not afford health insurance. They had no other option. They had nowhere to go. You just would end up without health insurance. I have constituents coming to me now crying because their insurance is going from $500 a month to $1,500 a month. That's an increase of $1,000 a month. Who can afford that? No one in the middle class. At the end of 2024, last year, during a Democratic administration, the number of insured Americans was at a record high of about 95%. Democrats worked for that. Then Trump comes in, the Republicans in with their big, ugly bill, and they make cuts to Medicaid, cuts to hospitals and nursing homes, and no funding to extend the ACA tax credits. So what's going to happen? More and more people will have no health insurance. That's the bottom line. They will not have health insurance, and the Republicans don't seem to care. But I want you to know that the Democrats care and will continue to fight for you.
The gentleman yields. The gentlewoman from Connecticut reserves. The gentleman from Oklahoma is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Speaker, I yield 1 minute to the distinguished gentleman from Guam, my very good friend, Mr. Moylan.
The gentleman is recognized.
Thank you to my friend from Oklahoma. Mr. Speaker, Guam is home to 3,372 federal employees, more than 43,000 SNAP recipients, and over 9,000 WIC recipients, and more than 20,000 veterans, all of whom have been impacted by this shutdown. If we continue to put politics over our country, my constituents will continue to suffer. Simply put, this gets us back on track, ensures funding for those who need it is in place, and turns the lights back on. This bill ensures that families receive the assistance they need, veterans have access to care, and our island is reimbursed for the sacrifice we made to keep federal programs running during this difficult time. I urge my colleagues to support this bill and to deliver for American people. The time for deliberation is when the government is open and people have the assistance they need. I reserve.
The gentleman yields. The gentleman from Oklahoma reserves. The gentlewoman from Connecticut is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I yield 1 minute to the gentleman from Massachusetts, the distinguished ranking member of the Ways and Means Committee, Mr. Neal.
The gentleman is recognized.
Thank the gentlelady. Mr. Speaker, the destruction that is taking place in America's healthcare system during these 10 months is unbelievable. They've eviscerated the National Institutes of Health. They've cut back on the Centers for Disease Control, billions of dollars from Medicaid for a tax cut for the wealthy. Wait till you see what's coming to America's hospitals after the next election. It's so contrived they waited until after the election to implement it. 24 million people are likely to lose health insurance if we don't implement these tax credits as suggested. The emergency room is going to be back in full force now because this is where people will go for their health care. All of this is taking place to justify a tax cut for people at the very top. And here's the real kicker. Our Republican colleagues of fiscal probity borrowed the money for the tax cuts. In 2017, it's $2.4 trillion. In the last tax bill, almost $4 trillion is borrowed for a tax cut for wealthy people. Whatever happened to the fiscal soundness that the Republican Party used to lecture everybody on? And I yield back the balance of my time.
The gentleman yields. The gentlewoman from Connecticut reserves. The gentleman from Oklahoma is recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I yield 1 minute to my very good friend, the distinguished gentleman from Pennsylvania, Mr. Muser.
The gentleman is recognized.
I thank Chairman Cole for his leadership. Mr. Speaker, if this were a library, we would have the fiction side over there and the nonfiction side over here. The only thing that's not fiction, however, is their consistent criticism of the healthcare system known as Obamacare that they created. That's what this fight seems to be about. And that's the one end of things that is truthful. Today, Mr. Speaker, after 6 weeks of no pain, lots of pain and no gain, they're going to vote again to keep the government closed. They're going to vote again. They're whipping their votes so they would not be paying federal workers. They won't be funding essential programs like SNAP and undo the chaos at our airports. Okay, I spent the last 43 days in my district talking with these groups, talking with SNAP, talking with Head Start, seeing their pain, realizing it, understanding it. Some of my colleagues did the same, but shockingly, they're still going to vote to keep the government closed and keep this funding from being delivered. It's time to fix the damage the Democrats have caused. With this vote tonight, Republicans will restore SNAP payments. We'll get TSA and air traffic control.
Yield the gentleman an additional 15 seconds.
And you know what, Thank you, Chairman. And you know what, Mr. Speaker? Yesterday was Veterans Day. Veterans didn't fight for the red. They didn't fight for the blue. They fought for the red, white, and blue. Maybe tonight we can follow their example. I yield back.
The gentleman yields. The gentleman from Oklahoma reserves. The gentlewoman from Connecticut is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I yield 1 minute to the gentlewoman from Washington, Ms. Del Bene.
The gentlewoman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill fails to address the fundamental needs of families across our country. Americans have made it crystal clear that affordability is their #1 concern. President Trump and Republicans promised to lower costs on day one, and that's been one big broken promise. Healthcare premiums are skyrocketing because Republicans refuse to extend the ACA tax credits, causing healthcare costs to go up for everyone. Over 4 million people will be forced off their coverage next year because it's too expensive. This is on top of soaring prices for food, energy, and housing. It's unacceptable for the wealthiest nation in the world. Republicans who say they support affordable health care should be standing up for their constituents rather than following in line behind President Trump. I'm going to keep fighting for affordable health care and lower costs. The American people deserve better. I yield back.
The gentlewoman yields. The gentlewoman from Connecticut reserves. The gentleman from Oklahoma is recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I yield 90 seconds to my very good friend, the distinguished gentleman from Texas, Mr. Gooden.
The gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Throughout this sham and shame of a shutdown, we've heard so many lies from the Democrats. And over the last 45 days, and especially the last 45 minutes, I've heard them say this is an evil bill. Republicans don't care about the disabled. Trump is the worst president in history for children. They've said that Republicans are to blame for the fentanyl crisis. Republicans shouldn't take photos with veterans. January 6th, of course they mentioned that. Republicans are corrupt, and they've said that Republicans are starving kids. What they haven't said is the one thing that this bill does, which is open up the government. Not one Democrat is getting up here saying this bill opens the government. So let me remind them and my colleagues and the American people, this bill opens the government tonight. And the American people have Republicans to thank for ending this shutdown and opening the government. I urge a yes vote. I am proud to vote yes. And I am so disappointed in my Democratic colleagues, because for the life of me, throughout my time in the House, I've heard them talk about how wonderful it is to keep the government open and that a shutdown is so bad and can never happen. And tonight they won't even admit that this bill opens the government, and this is what we need for this country tonight. So I urge a yes vote, and I yield back.
The gentleman yields. The gentleman from Oklahoma reserves. The gentlewoman from Connecticut is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I yield 1 minute to the gentlewoman from California, Ms. Barragan.
The gentlewoman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I oppose the Republican spending bill that makes health care more expensive for hardworking Americans. While Republicans were on their 7-week-plus vacation, all our constituents were receiving notices of premium increases. A constituent of mine, a lifelong educator, has been told that her premiums will jump from $383 to nearly $1,000. Meanwhile, Trump and Republicans can find money for a fancy ballroom. They can give tax breaks to billionaires. And they even included millions of dollars in cash payouts in this bill for 8 Republican senators. If anyone else in government gave themselves millions in taxpayer money, they would go to prison. But for Americans trying to afford health care, not $1 in tax credits.
Yes.
House Democrats are united against this corrupt bill and will keep fighting to protect America's health care. I urge my colleagues to reject this bill. I yield back.
The gentleman yields. The gentleman from Connecticut reserves. The gentleman from Oklahoma is recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I yield myself such time as I may consume. Mr. Speaker, it's been an interesting debate. Frankly, as a couple of my colleagues have suggested, a lot of the rhetoric on the other side hasn't had much to do with the legislation in front of us. My friends chose all on their own to shut the government down 43 days ago. During that time, soldiers have had to worry about getting paid. The only reason they were paid is the President of the United States managed to pull a rabbit out of the hat twice, or we've had military families.
What up, everybody? Dinner finished.
We have our air traffic controllers. Most of us flew here today or yesterday or in recent days. They're keeping the skies as safe as they can, but they haven't gotten paid. We're in this Capitol building. We're under the protection of the Capitol Police. They do a splendid job. They keep doing their job. They haven't been paid. We have people that are in desperate need of some of the services that this government has promised to give them, SNAP and WIC. That's at risk unless we pass this legislation tonight. So we can have all these debates about all these other issues. As a matter of fact, my friend, the Speaker, his counterpart in the United States Senate, the Majority Leader, and the President have said, when you open the government, we'll be happy to talk to you about some of these issues. But you're not going to shut down the government, punish the American people, put people's lives at risk, and think we're going to sit down and negotiate with you under those circumstances. That is not going to happen.
Vote in the poll, chat.
43 days ago, from bitter experience, government shutdowns don't
Thank you, Z.
work.
Bailey.
They never achieve the objective that you announce. And guess what? You haven't achieved that objective yet, and you're not going to. We did the same thing twice, so I'm not saying that we've got clean hands over here. You guys did it on DACA, didn't work here, not going to work here. Only people that have suffered have been the American people, the people that we're all here to serve.
Really?
So let's keep the focus on getting the government back open.
He looks like
I
a
would
reptile.
also add, and I appreciate this very much, there have been robust discussions back and forth, and we have 3 appropriations bills attached to this. They're appropriations bills that do important things. The Ag bill will make sure that people that rely on WIC and SNAP
What up, Sarah?
don't have to worry about another government shutdown between now and September 30th of next year. The Ledge Branch bill will make sure that the Capitol Police and everybody else at staff that allow this chamber to function don't have to worry about not getting paid until September 30th of next year. And obviously, military construction and, more importantly, veterans rely on benefits commitments we have made. Passage of this bill makes sure that those commitments will be fulfilled between now and September 30th next year. And we buy the time to sit down and rationally and responsibly negotiate other appropriations bills.
He said, be sure to like and
I hope in a bipartisan basis to this floor to keep the government.
Thank you, iBlue.
So I would just ask my friends to reflect on that. I hope some of you feel the weight of that decision. I know you do. And I hope you can vote to keep the government open. There's no excuse to shut it down.
Right.
The United States Senate operated to keep it open in a bipartisan fashion. Now, it took them a long time to do it, but they got there. Let's not follow that example. Let's follow when they finally got the job done, they sent us a product. It's not a perfect product. It's got some things in it I don't like. But
this guy is House Slytherin for sure.
We'd have never been in this situation in the first place. So I would just ask my friends to remember their constituents. I know they think about them. I know they're serious about the points they make. Reopen the government. Raise your issues. Let's see if we can come to a negotiated settlement. But let's not punish the American people. A no vote on this, again, means soldiers and military families don't get paid. A no vote means that people in need of SNAP and WIC might not get it. A no vote means the people that allow us to come here and debate and work won't get paid either. I can go down the list of horrors. It's pretty simple. This is a vote about two things. Opening the government of the United States, which you willfully tried to shut down, fortunately did not succeed in that in this chamber, but some of your colleagues, using arcane Senate rules, did manage to do it.
Arcane Senate rules.
Came to their senses. You ought to pay attention to those people. They said enough is enough. Let's reopen the government. I would urge my colleagues to do that today, and I hope it's done in a bipartisan way. With that, I reserve the balance of my time, Mr. Speaker.
The gentleman reserves, and members are reminded to direct their remarks only to the chair. The gentlewoman from Connecticut is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I yield 3 minutes to the gentlewoman from Massachusetts, the distinguished Democratic whip, Ms. Clark.
The gentlewoman is recognized.
Thank you. Donald Trump said the cost of living crisis is fake news, a con job by the Democrats. Mr. Speaker, 60% of Americans can't afford a basic quality of life.
Arcane powers would be pretty sick.
45% have had to skip a doctor's appointment or a prescription because they can't afford it. 41% are living with medical debt. The American people are simply not making it. Not only is that crisis real, it is a crisis that Republicans promised to solve. Voters believe them. And now, after a 54-day hiatus, what are Republicans doing? They're voting to raise the cost of living. They're voting to make it even harder to get by. Not by some marginal amount. They are doubling, tripling, and quadrupling monthly premiums. And what's the defense? They are looking people in the eye and flat out gaslighting them. Costs aren't up, costs are down. Trump says, I don't want to hear about the affordability. Well, get used to hearing about it. You're going to hear about it a lot because people are feeling it every single day. People can't make rent. They can't afford their prescriptions. They can't afford to take their kid to a doctor. They can't find childcare, and when they find it, they can't afford that either. Grocery and utility bills are spiking. This is the crisis of our time, and it's about to get exponentially worse because the GOP's craven allegiance to billionaires over working people. The cost of living crisis is not fake news. It's not a perception issue. It is daily life for the people that we all represent. So let's do something about it. Let's reject this budget. Let's stop the health care cuts. Let's stop the premium hikes. Let's stop the hospital closures. And let's stop the billionaire giveaways. I yield back.
The gentlewoman yields. The gentlewoman from Connecticut reserves. The gentleman from Oklahoma is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I reserve.
The gentleman reserves. The gentlewoman from Connecticut is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, this bill fails to prevent health care costs from skyrocketing. It fails to address the crisis of affordability. It fails to keep our promise to veterans. It provides a $1 million jackpot to 8 senators. It fails to protect Congress's power of the purse. I encourage my colleagues to vote no, and I have the honor of yielding 1 minute to the gentleman from New York, our distinguished Democratic leader, Mr. Hakeem Jeffries.
The gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank the distinguished gentlelady, the top Democrat on the House Appropriations Committee, for yielding and for her steadfast leadership on behalf of working families, hard-working American taxpayers in the great state of Connecticut and all across America. Mr. Speaker, I rise today in strong opposition to this woefully inadequate spending bill that fails to decisively address the Republican health care crisis and fails to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits for tens of millions of Americans. Mr. Speaker, before I say anything further, let me say to our men and women in uniform, to our active duty troops, to our hardworking federal employees, to our civil servants, to our TSA agents, to our Capitol Police, to our staff here in the House of Representatives, to our air traffic controllers, thank you for your service. Thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you for the work that you do on behalf of the American people each and every day. And it's our promise to all of you that we will continue to work hard to make sure that you are treated with the dignity and respect that you deserve. In a year in which the Trump administration has gone after hardworking federal employees relentlessly, including firing more than 200,000 federal employees prior to the start of the Trump Republican shutdown. Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the presidency. Donald Trump and Republicans made the decision to shut the government down, the longest shutdown in American history. Would rather do that than provide health care that's affordable to working class Americans, middle class Americans, and hardworking American taxpayers. All across the country, I'm certain that there are people in America asking the question, where do we go from here? House Democrats have a simple answer. We will continue to fight to lower the high cost of living. House Democrats will continue to fight to address the health care crisis that Republicans have created. And House Democrats will continue to fight to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits for tens of millions of Americans. This fight is not over. We're just getting started. We'll fight today. We'll fight tomorrow. We'll fight this week. We'll fight next week. We'll fight this month. We'll fight next month. We'll fight until we win this battle for the American people. That's our commitment as House Democrats. And there's only 2 ways that this fight will end. Only 2 ways, Mr. Speaker, that this fight will end. Either Republicans finally decide to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits this year, or the American people will throw Republicans out of their jobs next year and end the speakership of Donald J. Trump once and for all. That's how this fight ends. Mr. Speaker.
Another email.
During this painful Trump Republican shutdown.
Okay. Another Epstein email.
Is 2 different philosophies
from Paul Krasner
of how to govern
to Epstein
for the American people. The Democratic
about Trump
Party philosophy is clear.
The allegation was not at a pedophile party. It was at my house with me.
To find bipartisan common ground.
To what wording would you suggest I change that?
Time, any place. To enact spending agreements that actually make life better for the American people. But in order to do that, we need to have partners on the other side of the aisle who are actually willing to find a bipartisan path forward. But what we've seen from Republicans from the very beginning of this presidency is a my way or the highway approach. That's been the Republican philosophy. Jam your extremism down the throats of the American people. That's what we've seen from day one of this presidency. That's the reason why the government has been shut down by Republicans and Donald Trump for the longest period of time in American history.
Yeah, where is it coming from, Nondas?
From Donald Trump and Republicans.
Can you link
this shutdown? A consistent unwillingness to actually find common ground in order to make life better for the American people. Donald Trump, during this shutdown, found the time to play golf week after week after week. Donald Trump found the time to pardon serial fraudsters like George Santos and Rudolph Giuliani. Donald Trump found the time to meet with the Chinese Communist Party. Donald Trump found the time to destroy the East Wing of the White House. Donald Trump found the time to extort $230 million from the Department of Justice so he could line his pockets. Donald Trump found the time to bail out Argentina with $40 billion. Donald Trump found the time to rip away SNAP benefits from 42 million Americans. Mr. Speaker, these extremists are not like us. They're not like us. They have zero interest in fighting hard to make life better for the American people. Their philosophy, my way or the highway, our response, get lost. We're going to continue to fight hard on behalf of the American people. In the midst of a health care crisis and a cost of living crisis that is very real, despite what Donald Trump, the leader of the Republican Party, has to say, he claims there is no affordability crisis in the United States of America. But why would anyone believe anything that Donald Trump or Republicans have to say on this issue? Because throughout 2024, before the election, Republicans in the House and in the Senate and Donald Trump on the campaign trail spent all of their time saying that costs were going to go down on day one. But costs haven't gone down. Republicans haven't done a damn thing to lower the high cost of living. Costs haven't gone down in this country. Costs have gone up. Inflation is on the way up. Housing costs out of control. Grocery costs out of control. Electricity bills out of control. Healthcare costs skyrocketing out of control. And in the midst of this affordability crisis, seeing this, Democrats said, we've got to fight to make sure that we extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits so that tens of millions of people, working class folks, middle class folks, people in rural America, working class America, small town America, the heartland of America, black and brown communities all throughout America, don't experience premium increases that in some cases will go up by $1,000 or $2,000 per year. In many cases, month after month after month, $1,000 or $2,000 per month, tens of thousands of dollars per year. Unacceptable in this country, the wealthiest country in the history of the world. And this is in the midst of a Republican health care crisis. Republicans enacted the largest cut to Medicaid in American history, ripped health insurance away from 14 million Americans. As a result of Republican policies.
If you're working on Epstein file stuff, I got a sub thread now. Discussion, and then it's up here in the threads. Epstein files. So post stuff here, so that way it's like in its own area.
To extend the Affordable Care Act.
Post it all there. The Epstein files, there they are. As you can find them. We'll do it.
Of being unable to afford to go see a doctor when they need one.
So post it there, Nondast, and categorize it, like label what it is and where it's from.
It can't be the case that health care is simply a privilege for the wealthy, the well-off, and the well-connected. Mr. Speaker, that's the Republican perspective. We believe as Democrats that health care has to be a right, and a right that's affordable and available to every single American in the United States. That's what this fight is all about. And that's what the fight will continue to be about as we move forward. Many of my Republican colleagues have suggested that they want to deal with the health care affordability issue, that they want to address the Republican health care crisis that's devastating people all across this country. Well, we have an opportunity for you to do so. There's a discharge petition connected to legislation that House Democrats have introduced to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits for 3 years, because we believe that working class Americans, middle class Americans, and everyday Americans deserve the same level of certainty that Republicans always provide to the wealthy, the well-off, and their well-connected donors. Working class Americans deserve that level of certainty. So join us in extending the Affordable Care Act tax credits. It's not too late. We're in the midst of open enrollment, but the tax credits expire on December 31st. And we will stay on this issue until we get this issue resolved for everyday Americans. Mr. Speaker, as I close, I've had the opportunity, as many of us do, to serve in the United States Congress with legendary figures, too numerous to mention. Legendary members, of course, Speaker Emerita Nancy Pelosi, Steny Hoyer, the great Jim Clyburn, Maxine Waters, Elijah Cummings, Charlie Rangel, our own Marcy Kaptur, the longest-serving woman in the history of the United States House of Representatives. We've all had the opportunity to serve with legendary members, John Dingell, too numerous to mention. But one can't call that role without calling the name of the great John Lewis. I had the distinct honor of serving with John Lewis for several terms. Many of us here in the House of Representatives did. I'll never forget, on my first day in the Congress, I had the opportunity to meet John Lewis for the first time in person. And he called me over to see him on the House floor, and he just asked me a simple question. He said, "Are you the new guy?" And I said, "Yes, sir, Mr. Lewis, I am." And he said, "Well, we're colleagues now. You don't have to call me Mr. Lewis, you can call me John." I said, "Yes, sir, Mr. Lewis, I understand." And then he said to me, "You're from Brooklyn, right?"
He can talk for as long as he wants.
I got to be honest, I was tempted to say, Brooklyn is always in the house. But instead, since my mother raised me with some sense, Lenita Jeffries, I said, "Yes, sir, I'm from Brooklyn." And then he said something to me that I've never forgotten. He said, "Well, I hear some positive things about you from your predecessor, but Washington, D.C., young man, can be a rough place. So I don't want you to get into any trouble unless it's good trouble." And I just wanted to stop by on the House floor to make sure it was clear to the American people that the spirit of John Lewis lives amongst House Democrats, and we will continue to get into good trouble to make their life better. That's our commitment to every single American all across this country from this day and for every day moving forward. And it was John Lewis who said to us that ours is not the struggle of one day, 1 week, or 1 year. Ours is the struggle of a lifetime, and maybe even many lifetimes. And each one of us in every generation must do our part. Mr. Lewis, we love you. We were blessed by our opportunity to serve with you, and House Democrats are here to do our part. We're in this fight until we win this fight for the American people. I yield back.
No, well, I thought he was going to, but he could technically have talked as long as he wanted.
Members are reminded to refrain from engaging in personalities towards the president. The gentlewoman from Connecticut has 30 seconds remaining and is recognized.
I yield back the balance of my time.
The gentlewoman from Connecticut yields. The gentleman from Oklahoma is recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. It's my distinct pleasure to yield the balance of our time to the distinguished Speaker of the House, my very good friend and a person I admire greatly.
1 minute.
I'm actually just going to hold you to 1 minute, Mr. Speaker. My good friend, the gentleman from Louisiana, Speaker Mike Johnson.
The gentleman from Louisiana is recognized.
Thank you. I want to thank my friend Chairman Cole's done an extraordinary job in this process. And Mr. Speaker, we all know why we're here. House Democrats voted to shut the government down. It was 54 days ago when we had that vote, September 19th. And since that time, Senate Democrats have voted 14 times to close the government. Republicans voted a collective 15 times to open the government for the people, and the Democrats voted that many times to close it. And then they admitted,
Thank you, Holy Calamity.
I name them here, but I'm not going to take the time. They admitted that they were using the American people as leverage in this political game. They knew that it would cause pain, and they did it anyway. The whole exercise was pointless. It was wrong, and it was cruel. In mere moments, I want you to watch the board. They're going to do it again. I'm going to guess for you that most of our Democrat colleagues are going to vote again to close the government, again to take food out of the mouths of families that need it, again to deny pay to federal employees, again to stall flights and cancel airlines and do all the rest that they've done. But we are not going to let them succeed in that gambit. And that's right. While the Democrats keep voting to shut the government down, Republicans are going to vote to open it back up. And with that, we're going to get the American government running again and working for the people as they deserve. I'm going to close with this. You know, as Speaker, you have the ability to talk as long as you want, but I'm not going to do that tonight. We're not going to waste any more time of the people. I'm just going to say this. I think that everybody needs to remember this one simple thing. From the very beginning of this whole ordeal, on the Republican side, we operated in good faith. We offered a clean, nonpartisan CR. We were honest and transparent with the American people from the very beginning, and every single day of the shutdown, we went out and looked right into the camera with a press conference and told the American people the simple truth. We have done for the people what has been right and just and truthful. And in the end, that is what God honors always. Don't forget it.
Wow.
We need to get this government open as soon as possible, and I'm going to yield back the remainder of my time so we can do that. The American people demand it and deserve it. My friends, let's get this done. Thank you. I yield back.
Let's get this done.
The gentleman yields. The gentleman from Oklahoma has 3 minutes remaining and is recognized.
I yield back the balance of my time.
The gentleman yields. All time for debate has expired. Pursuant to House Resolution 873, the previous question is ordered. The question is on the motion by the gentleman from Oklahoma, Mr. Cole. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. No. In the opinion of the chairs, the ayes have it. For what purpose does the gentleman from Connecticut stand?
Mr. Speaker, I request the yeas and nays.
The yeas and nays are requested. Those favoring a vote by the yeas and nays will rise. A sufficient number having risen, the yeas and nays are ordered. Members will record their votes by electronic device. This is a 15-minute vote.
Vote, vote, vote. Everybody check into the stream. How are you doing? A motion to concur in the Senate amendment. Get down on it. All right, so this is the vote to end the shutdown. Here we go. And they're off. Whoa, the government open. Poll in the chat. Should the Senate Democrats have voted along with Republicans to open the government? Overwhelming majority say no, because there's no guarantee for ACA benefits to be renewed. And that's going to cost a lot of... it's going to raise the cost of your health care. Insurance premiums exponentially if you're on the ACA. But also, it will likely raise the cost of private health insurance for everybody else, because now you're going to have a lot of people that will be like, well, I better go find a private health insurance and try to see if I can pay at least a different premium or whatever. And then they're going to raise their prices because you got a whole new base of people. So if you pay private health insurance, your shit's about to go up too. And then Trump will fix it by selling you Trump insurance. Insurance by Trump. Subscribe today. He'll fix it. Twitch is back up too, y'all. Just want to let you guys know. If you guys usually watch on the Twitch platform, we are back up. Stream has been up. Go and give a view over there if you could. We got people in our community going through the 20,000 plus trove of documents that the GOP dropped. A lot of it looked like slop, but they're finding the diamonds in the rough. There's a couple, I guess, that community members are finding. So you can join the Discord server and be a part of that. We'll see how it goes. What is not NV is not voted. NV means not voted. What will be interesting if there are any House Republicans that'll vote no. Just to stick it to Trump. We'll see though. Donald Trump, it's third and long, and that blitz is coming. Gimmick is over, not gonna lie. Yes, sir, Ski. You don't blitz on third and long? On what do you mean you don't? Prevent defense on third and long? Are you on yeah, do that, please. Do that defense. Yeah, prevent defense for sure. Don't listen to that person if you played Madden. What an idiot. What a fucking idiot. Yeah, third and long. We're doing prevent defense. For sure. Trump. I received a troubling letter today from the attorney representing the most FBI whistleblower out of the J6 bomb investigation. Surrendered. Okay, so there's like some J6 there, like I'm not even talking about it yet because the reporting is so bad. And I don't want to like start a rabbit hole and like whatever. But I'm not talking about that until it's sorted out, but the source is bad. Because it's still unknown who the J6 bomber was going to be, right? They got a person on camera wearing like a gray hoodie, and they had a bomb, apparently. A pipe bomb. And so there's still on there's nobody who was caught for it. So you got a news source came out and said that they know who did it and made accusations, and a person's photo and everything, like full scent on, like, this is who it was, and it's shaky right now. Their story ain't adding up, so it's not looking good. Third and long, you're going with a play action. Risky. High risk, big reward. Who the fuck? Yo. Oh, dang. The house. No way. I hope that's just an error. I hope that's just an error on the screen. Damn. Well, I mean, if it was party lines anyways, this was never... This is cooked, okay? The Democrat or the Republicans control the House. So if it's party lines, their Republicans are winning, right? Because they have more people. But, no, this is not Fetterman. This is the House, not the Senate. Fetterman's in the Senate. We need to do Schoolhouse Rock. But they need to do Schoolhouse Rock, but for who's in what? Especially for how big the House is. There's so many representatives. It's hard to, like, keep up. Brother, who is that Democrat that voted yes? Wouldn't you have... Remember when I said earlier today? Well, at least the House Democrats are unified. My bad. No, they're not, I guess. And then Wyatt Jeffries, the House Democrats are unified. I really hope that's just an error on the screen. Otherwise, like, what the fuck, dude? It's gotta be. That's cooked. Gotta be an error on the screen. Jared Golden. Oh, help. It is a yes. Who the fuck is Jared Golden? Oh my god, bro. Oh, 2 Democrats. Two Democrats. Ah, damn, bro. Fucking nice. Maine congressman. Cool. He'll have like a post cope session about the military and how it's important to pay our troops. Like, that's what he'll say. Who's the other one now? Oh my god, brother. Well, we'll find out who the next one is here shortly. Sick. Like, you could have stayed unified for this. You would have lost anyways. It's like you needed Republicans to come over, obviously. That's why what the Senate Democrats did was such a big deal. Because they basically sealed the fate of the bill. Oh my goodness. Come on, Jake, give us the tea. Adam Gray of California. Who the fuck is that? Nice. And these look like young or younger. How old is this guy? Can't be that old. That sucks. Adam. When it's taco time. But nobody even knows who the fuck he is. Nice. California's 13th district. Another veteran thing. He's gonna say, I know I had to do it with the veterans. I had to do, or the troops. What? That was on November 7th. I don't know. I'm grateful for my friend and Blue Dog colleague, Representative Golden. Weird, they voted together. A steadfast. What do you guys go on dates too? Hold each other's hand into the fucking thing? Well, there they are. Those two are the ones that voted yes so far. We'll ride a tandem bike with no seat. Well, that's the two. There they are. I don't know. They're both, they're Blue Dog colleagues, I guess. Whatever that means. Sounds cringe. There you go so far. Adam Gray and Jared Golden are the two that voted yes. Alish, thank you for the 5 gifted. I appreciate that. Blue Dog Democrats are moderates. Oh, fuck. Well, there you go. Blue Dog is a euphemism for Republican and Democratic clothing. Oh, boy. Yeah, there's a lot of that I'm seeing. Especially with how extreme MAGA is. The Democratic Party is a perfect landing place for, like, Republicans that are, like, are not MAGA, but are still Republican. Blue Chew Democrats. Oh, who's the third one now? Sick. Probably another one. They're probably connected. Nice. Who's the third one? So nice. So sick. Remember, Jeffries lost. Now Jeffries looks like a moron. This is lovely. This is so cool. It would have been 4. And you got a Republican that voted nay. What the fuck, brother? God. Are you kidding me? Oh, okay. 1 vote back. Oh, it doesn't matter, though. You have 3. Who's the third Democrat that voted yes? It could have been just a error on the thing. That's why I thought when I saw the first Democrat, I was like, oh, it could be just an error on the counter, because that happens when you're watching this. Like, it could be a mistake and then it gets fixed. Okay, who's the third one now? Who at Republican voted nay? Marie Gluckenskamp Perez. Jake, who's the Republican? Who the hell is this? Representative from Washington? Is she a Blue Chew Democrat too? I don't know, Gluckenskamp Perez, I guess. Whoever the hell that is. Who's the Republican? Give us the tea, Jake. Gotta wait. Oh, another Democrat then. Oh my god. Vote them out. I mean, you can when it comes time to do it, people are gonna forget. You're gonna be mad now, and then when it comes time, people will forget. Every time. Every time. There's this is so stupid. I hate it here. I hate it here. No unity in the fight. Don Davis. Okay, we need the Republican, unless it's an administrative error again. Congressman Don Davis for North Carolina. Another. Oh yeah. Gotta be in the same caucus as the other two. I don't know, I gotta look at it. 5. Two Republicans voted no. I hate it here. Whatever, man. When is the fight for healthcare gonna happen? I guess never. This guarantees it won't, because when the going get a 6, nice, sick. You guys are so sick. 6 Democrats. Why don't you make it 8 so you can make it even? 8 Senate Democrats and 8 House. Fair and balanced. Fuck it. 2 more. Why not? Well, just yeah, there you go. The last 2 vote yay. Fuck it. Well. You said Dems are outnumbered anyway. I hate that energy. Fuck that. Yeah, we knew they were defeated in this. We didn't know there were going to be House Democrats that were going to vote with it. Like it was going to be a focus on the Senate, and now you can't even do that now. Now it's you got the House too, and Jeffries didn't have control over his, just like Schumer doesn't. Or he does, and he like sold out so that way he can look like at least he's voting to open the government and not fight for healthcare.
On this vote, the yeas are 222, the nays are 209.
Nice.
The bill is passed. The motion is adopted. Without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
Well, who are the other ones? Henry Cellular. Texas. And Tom Susie.
The chair lays before the House a communication.
The Honorable the Speaker, House of Representatives, sir. I respectfully request to be relieved from assignments to the House Armed Services Committee and the House Select Committee on Competition between the United States and the Chinese Communist Party, effective immediately. It has been an honor and privilege to serve on these committees on behalf of my constituents and the American people. Signed sincerely, Mikey Sherrill, Member of Congress.
Without objection, the resignation is accepted.
Because Mikey Sherrill's won the election, which at this point. So Jared Golden, Adam Gray, Gluckenskamp Perez, Congressman Don Davis, Henry Cellular, and Tom Susie all voted with the Republicans. Who were the two Republicans that voted? Massey and Stews, making it hard not to. Massey's making it very hard not to like him, but his politics are so bad. Outside of his actions lately, though, that was one of the things people did think Massey was going to vote. It was going to get interesting because you only needed. You needed two more Republicans to come over. If you could have two more Republicans, who's Stews? I don't know who the other. Or Stube. Yeah, that makes more sense. Congressman Greg Stube from Florida. After forcing the country to endure the longest government shutdown in history, the Senate's response is the furthest thing from a clean CR. I cannot in good conscience support a resolution that creates a self-indulgent legal provision for certain senators to enrich themselves by suing the Justice Department using taxpayer dollars. There is no reason to. The House should have been forced to eat this garbage to end the Schumer shutdown.
The House will be in order. Yeah.
Okay.
Shh. The House will be in order.
He just shushed them. What the fuck?
For what purpose does the gentleman from Kentucky seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, I offer a privileged resolution and ask for its immediate consideration.
The clerk will report the resolution.
House Resolution 874. Resolved that the House has heard with profound sorrow of the death of the Honorable Richard B. Cheney, a former Vice President of the United States of America.
Rest in piss. Piss.
Communicate these resolutions to the Senate and transmit a
He didn't make any statement about voting. No.
Resolved that when the House adjourns today, it adjourn as a further mark of respect to the memory of the deceased.
No. Nope. No respect. No respect to Dick Cheney.
The motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
I should post that the government's open. I don't know if my mods are out at Stevie Nicks tonight. Yeah. You got Stevie Nicks here. Well.
Pursuant to Clause 13 of Rule 1 and House Resolution 874, the House stands adjourned until 9 a.m. tomorrow as a further mark of respect to the memory of the late Honorable Richard B. Cheney.
Well, it's got to go to Trump, so Trump will he'll make a big deal out of it. It'll be a ceremony. He'll have a whole thing, a whole deal planned for it. Trump special announcement. Oh God, oh boy, it's gonna be delivered in gold leaflet. Gonna be sitting up there. Oh Jesus, it's gonna be a spectacle when he signs this. Okay, obviously, and he's gonna make it like this is the Democrats. Well, when they fucking fought and then they give up, it's like, man, that's ass. You fight and then you give up. When we fight, we give up. That's the new Democrats. When we fight, we get tired and stop and realize, hey, listen, the strategy says that the numbers according to our groupthink of our special interest group said that the airlines were having a struggle, so we had to open it. Praise our troops. That's what they'll come out and say. Hale Rogers, the dean of the House, stood up on the floor to offer a resolution in honor of Dick Cheney's death. Cringe. Well, government is open, guys. Well, the next thing is going to be the Epstein files. Well, first, Trump will make a spectacle out of signing the funding bill. And then we have more Epstein shit that's going to be happening. Hideo Kojima's filling my timeline. Jesus. Well, I mean, after you see more, I mean, what's to say? What's to say? Like you fight for healthcare, and then when it comes time to do that, you want to kick the can down the road and be like, oh, Republicans will, they verbally agreed. They said, and this Republican Party, the schizophrenic, like the liberals and Biden. But like they're just saying all that to distract from their Project 2025 plan. Like that Republican Party is who you're like, yeah, they agreed. They said they would. They said they will come and do Obamacare later. My ass. Why would they? Especially when immediately today you have Republicans going, Obamacare. That's Obamacare. See, that's the problem that they created. Obamacare is the problem that the Democrats caused. And now they want to close the government down over their problem that they created. Like, brother, it sucks here. It sucks here when you need to actually do something. But it's probably by design. It's probably by design. There's honestly no point in influencing for the Democratic Party. It's so fucked. It's so fucked. Because what is there to influence? What is there to do? Hey, let's have unity, guys. Let's do, and then you watch the politicians not do that. Let's all work together, and then they don't. And like in the people that do the thing. I'm not a politician. I didn't run for office. I didn't get elected into a position of power. The fuck you mean? I got a media platform. That's all I got. I'm not trying to influence for that loser ass shit, dude. So what do you do now? Do we go everything back to normal? That was just a little hitch in the road. That was just an event. Like, why did you even do it then? Why even have the fight to begin with if in the end it did nothing? When what you were doing was working. The government being shut down was working for the energy that was being directed at this administration, which is what's needed, because what's coming is worse than this. It's Trump staying in power. The Epstein documents coming out are pretty open in 4K now. And the way he did not leave the office of the presidency in his first term and sent his base to the Capitol to raid it, to keep him there. And you think he's going to leave this time? You need all the energy you can get against this thing, and to take yourselves out, to kneecap yourself. But like literally, like you're fucking like just, oh, we're winning, boom, boom, boom. What the fuck? It's like you're running and you give yourself a knee injury or something on purpose, or like when you're, I don't know. It's insane. And it's like you were stacking wins when you're not even in power, really. Like they had power, but the Republicans still control everything. And yes, the shutdown was hurting the Republicans more. Was it hurting the federal workers and people without pay? Yep. I served under the government shutdown. I know what it's like not to get your military pay. Back pay, though. Back pay exists. And you're still fed. You go to the dining hall. You're in the military. you get your money back, but the working class that they're gonna have their healthcare premiums go up, they're not gonna get any type of rebate or anything. Oh, we didn't extend the ACA subsidies, but hey, you know, remember when the Democrats like fought for a little bit for it and then didn't do anything when it came time to, when the government was shut down? So I guess like this is the next thing you can latch onto is Ro Khanna and Massey's Epstein discharge petition that was signed. There you go. I mean, you still have the victories, but like when it comes to fighting for real shit, though, it seems like the Democratic Party doesn't have much of an interest. When it comes to like when the rubber meets the road. All right. Try replacing Trump with Chuck Schumer in the Epstein files. We get something about the Epstein discharge petition passing the House. Won't the Senate just vote it down? True. Man, I don't know. I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of loser politics. I'm tired of it. Especially when you got the realities of the administration that we're all seeing. And we're all living, and nobody can afford shit. And you got the fight is this Democratic Party that is so mid and so trash. Like if the Democratic Party was on my team or whatever, I'd be saying shit. I'd be like, you're ass right now. Like, this shit is not good performance after you win. After you do good. And then you, like, piss on it, I guess. I don't know. It's stupid. It's so dumb. Everybody on your social media post MAGA is dead to like make MAGA schizo out. Post this exact thing. They'll think that there's a grand conspiracy. Just be a part of it from now on. You should help make their delusion worse at this point. There's no point in trying to help them. Like, why would you? Just make it worse. There's always room to be worse. All right. Well, yeah. So tomorrow we'll talk about more of the Epstein stuff, probably. The fuck. Dylan's right. Like, this is so dumb. The Netanyahu preferred Assad. Assad was able to do Netanyahu the whole time and genocide his own people. Not saying the replacement is a perfect replacement. However, better than Assad as of right now, as of this moment for Syria. This is dumb propaganda, Kyle. Stupid. Israel's gonna likely beef with Syria because of that dude. Because that dude isn't like an Assad type of person. I bet you I can see Israel and Syria going to war eventually, because that's what Israel will do. And then that guy, the leader of Syria now, isn't the type to back down. We watched the revolution happen last year. Was it 2024, right? A day to day, every day. That was crazy to watch. All right, I'm done. No more politics. I'm over it. Democrats are weak. Democrats are weak. Give me Mamdani, or I don't care. Mamdani, or I'm out. Or Mamdani politics, or at least like the strategy, his politics of getting to where the rubber meets the road with the working class and engaging with the working class. That's where I'm at with politics and what I want to see. And if I don't see that, then I don't care really. I don't care about that person's politics. Just don't, because they'll say one thing and then do another. So government open. I'll be back tomorrow, y'all. Mercado Gaming on YouTube. It'll be a little short break, and then we'll be back because I already had dinner and stuff, so I already took a longer break. But we'll be back again tomorrow. Ghost of Yote tonight. We might finish it tonight. We'll see. I don't know. Probably not. But we'll get a little further. But we're getting towards the end of Ghost of Yote. All right, and then we got a new game playthrough that we're gonna do. We play a lot of games on the channel. Jurassic World Evolution on Sundays. I play 2K. Play Arc Raiders. I mean, I play all the games. Every game. Resident Evil, Backrooms, Battlefield 6, obviously. And all of them. Division, DayZ, Scary Games, Dead Space, Silent Hill. If there's a game, I'll play it, probably. And I'll beat all your favorite streamers, too. Especially in sports games. Give me a sports game. All right. Come on over, Mercado Gaming, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Appreciate you guys all for tuning in today. You guys are awesome. Really quick, I thank you to Robert E. for the 20 coffees yesterday. Also, Emma Jast for the coffee. Nandas for the 3 coffees. 6 coffees, actually, you've sent. And then another 3 coffees from someone. I appreciate all of you guys. That's some of the Chicago support. I appreciate that. I got to get my plane ticket for the remove the regime protests. Sorry, there's been so many protests. Remove the regime in Washington, D.C. is coming up in a little over a week from now. And I would like to go. It's from November 20th to the 22nd. We could be there on the weekend and stay an extra day, but I would like some support for the travel and lodging. So you got the Buy Me a Coffee link, Venmo, PayPal, Cash App. I go on the ground, provide on-the-ground coverage. I'll be talking with your guys' favorite creators out there or activists, activist creators, all 3, journalists, etc., etc. There'll be a lot of people there, and just talking to protesters if they're just showing up and want to go and protest the thing. But that's how you support Mercado Media. I appreciate that you guys don't feel obligated to do so. Just show up and share the stream and like the stream. All right. See you guys at Mercado Gaming. If not everybody else, so see you tomorrow. Have a good one. Peace.